More than likely, once this one's loaded, go to sleep early again. It's always the wrong time to be denying the Lord's Prayer and being brain chemical addicted to your egotistical delusions. It's always the wrong time. But now you have an opportunity to step up for the Lord's Prayer and redeem your ancestors. I was watching the basketball game and seeing this, and they love their Thunder. It's like, no, this is a Roman gladiator culture that crucified Jesus Christ, turned him into Roman mythology to mass distract the populace, to keep them warring and fighting and addicted to gladiator culture that's blatantly obvious. And gladiator culture also has its belly dancers and its can dancers and its singers and its actors and its propaganda artists. And so wanting to be on a commercial, holding food hostage, holding housing hostage, giving people drugs to survive the aggressive, violent, oppressive insanity, and to have people using their perceptions of sexual charisma as success and desirability is very repugnant and repulsive. And as you see these people on these commercials, this Coca-Cola commercial on the basketball game, and this White Claw and Haagen-Dazs, it's just wrong. It's wrong to want to be a part of extortion, exploitation, psychotic, aggressive, violent, selfish, egotistical expression. It's very wrong. It's fundamentally wrong. It's destructive. It's just horrible. And so you can look at this as the worst time to be a successful gladiator culture murderer, or you can see it as the best time to have the chance to give everything that you think you have away and repent. So you can do like what GT Suzuki does with me. Every day I sit there and go, another day wasted in hell, another person murdered, and not being able to experience a rapture of living the Lord's Prayer worldwide, right? Or what Suzuki tells me, it's another day closer to the kingdom of heaven. You did what you were supposed to do beyond any reasonable doubts. You gave the people the ammunition, or not the ammunition, I shouldn't say ammunition, the opportunity to understand the truth of the Messiah, to understand the religion of Abraham and Adam and Eve, to stop being egotistical narcissists dancing for money that makes people feel inadequate because they can't get as much money as the other selfish, aggressive, narcissistic person, and being happy to be dancing on Nike commercials and using children, to perpetuate this brain chemical addiction and pass it off as innocence. Here's your opportunity to stop doing Allstate commercials and start standing up for the Lord's Prayer. So instead of seeing it as, you living another day in hell and sealing your pages in hell and smiling for the camera in hell and peg at your favorite foreign movie, see it as an opportunity to recant, repent, and go and sin no more. See it as an opportunity. Seize the day, ariete, Seize the day. All you Dead Poet Society people, stop having people commit suicide because they feel hopeless. Stop having people feel successful when they're aggressive, narcissistic, and violent. Help us, raise these prisons to the ground, all you Billy Rolls, kilowatts, and lunas. You dummies. You dummies. You dummy. For the first 7 years of my life, I thought my name was Dummy Sanford, right? You gorilla, you old heathen. No more. We can go back and watch those and say, man, these people, they were so lost. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. Right? Won't that be nice? We all get together, sing songs on Sunday. I probably won't sing a song like that. I'll probably have a lot of Kenny Gamble songs and shit. I remember when I used to chase the girls and beat them up. Shoot, baby. And I need that, man. I need to be able to have my basketball barn, have my house, engage in the conditions for my kids to feel like, Mom, you're okay. Mom, it's going to be all right. You were abused by really nasty squirrel master people. And Kenny didn't give sugar to the diabetic horse and kill him, and everything's going to be okay, and we don't need to smoke lots of Mary Jane to survive violent, aggressive behaviors. Well, Natalie might want to have a brownie or two. I'm just kidding. Old Ray. I used to tell her that because she was Kelly's kid, and he had a tendency to get violent. And I said, Emily and Kate and Noah, they seem to be able to mellow themselves out a little bit. But when you get older, you might want to take up a little bit of marijuana. Well, Noah, he could get a little violent and angry too. Yeah, he used to beat everybody up when they bullied. And I'd tell him, you don't have to beat them up. I trust the teachers. Just go tell the teachers. He's doing that again, and I really want to kick his ass, but don't say kick his ass. But, he's being a punk like his dad who works at Fort Huachuca. Or his mom. Could be his mom. Yeah, gender equity. Title IX. You're funny. Okay, guys, but this is your opportunity. I can't help myself. I'm a funny person. I was raised on... You shouldn't have raised me on Benny Hill, Rowan Narton's Laughing, the Jackson's Variety Show, Flip Wilson, Sanford and Son, Chico and the Man, Good Times, All in the Family, The Jeffersons, Happy Days, you name it. We watched it in my house. Mom and Dad like to laugh, right? Comedies were always some of my favorites, man. You were the ones who gave me Sandler and Pryor and Murphy and Cosby and so on, so forth, So if you don't like the fact that your Messiah is witty and very obnoxious, did you know Mount Satan's hell's ash went around the entire world? Oh, don't be stupid! Do you understand? That wasn't really that funny, though. Like I said, a place named Cokeville, old people were dying from the ash. They were literally dying because we were not adequately prepared for what was going to happen. Or I think basically some scientists knew, but politicians and world leaders and military leaders just don't righteously give a fuck. Like old stupid Custer in Sierra Vista, I thought he was concerned about these people's lives. No, he was concerned about what his enemies were going to do because he wanted to stay in power. It's like, God dang, he's just like Tom and George's sorry ass. He ain't going to help me a lick. And I told him on YouTube, I said, here's your chance to make up for what Tom and George did. And you can support, the man, you can support the man that I talked to in prayer when I lived in Wyoming, who had Jesus as a spirit guide. You can stand up and support, me talking to Fun and the relatives of Cochise that had Jesus as a spirit guide. You can step up and be a good person like Joseph Smith and not a complete turd bag like Tom and George Armstrong Custer and his other brother and his brother-in-law. A bunch of politically ambitious murderers who thought they, had him on the run. Take it on the run, baby. If that's the way you want it, baby, then I don't want you around. Okay, it always gets a little funny and weird, and it's just my personality. We like to call it quirky. I'm not really like Sheldon at all. I like to see myself as being a little bit more entertaining, abstract, and a tad bit more fun. Okay? And I wouldn't let a Rottweiler steal my hot dogs. And I just look him in the eyes. Me and Penny are eating these, son of a bitch. Okay, I love you. Here's one. I give him one. Not mean. Okay, guys, I love you, all right? Peace out.